There is one thing I want to say that
Yeah.
it isn't about happiness. A lot of people, they start something and they pursue something. They have a great goal. They have something to aim for, you know. And after 1 month, they be like, okay, I'm done with it. Why? Because he is not happy. It isn't about happiness. It isn't about, you know, consistency. You are not here on a vacation. This is always, I say this thing always. This is not your annual vacation. You are not here to be happy. You are here to build something, to create something, you know.
Wait a minute, say that again. I think some people need to hear that, you know? Say that again.
Yeah, you know.
Approach the mic, bro.
Adam and Eve, when they were, you know, in Garden of Eden, they came to this land. It isn't a beautiful place. This is not a beautiful place, and you are not here to be happy. This is not your vacation. It is not the Maldives or Paris. You know, you are here to put on work, to weaponize yourself, to do something with yourself, and to do something and to give something eventually to the community and help other people. If it's not making you happy, fuck your happiness, man. It isn't about happiness. One of the major, you know, problems that I discovered in this country is people's mentality. People's mentality is something that we should work on. There is a lot of, you know, ignorance. It's wandering these streets, you know, that's a very bad thing. And I believe, also people look into fundamental things as education and culture and readings as, you know, something that we can, you know, live without them. We can just get rid of these things and our life could be perfect. This is not the case, you know. I think art and all the forms of art, the theater, the books, novels, these are primary things to live. These are substance. We need these things because through these things, through this literature, you know, we can find ourselves and we can understand ourselves. And by understanding ourselves, we can understand the other. By understanding the other, we can expand to understand this whole community that we live in.
Yeah, but Oumar, you're talking from your own perspective. You're talking from how you were raised in the society that you're in. Yeah. People are accustomed to this kind of thing, right? Yeah. It's a part of them. It's biological for them.
Absolutely.
But for us, it's something new, right? How we can impute or instill this mentality of reading and bringing down the arts and all this stuff, or you can say all this form into existence, so that people can take it seriously and they may get their country to another place?
That's a good question.
Yeah, check one, check two. That's your boy Salah. We're back again, and this is the English Chat podcast, right? And we are back. As you can see, the first episode, this is a surprise. We had the chance to get the new mics and everything. So we start from the Chat English Show, now Chat English Center, and now it's the Chat English podcast, right? So I'm really happy, you know, to announce that. And as the first episode, we decided to invite one of our closest friend, a very fantastic persona. I'm not gonna introduce him. He will be introducing himself to you in all dimensions. So what's up, Oumar? How you doing?
How you doing, bro? I'm doing great. I can't complain.
So can you tell the audience who you are and what do you do exactly, briefly?
Well, this is the face, as you can see. It's not a great mystery. But the name is Oumar Senoussi Hamid Isa, the full name.
Right.
And I've been born and raised in Saudi Arabia. And I spent, my whole life in Saudi Arabia. But in 2020, after the pandemic, I decided to pay visit to my country, to this lovely country, to discover one or two things, and that's it.
I want to know what you discovered so far.
Well, that's a great question, man. That is something about me. I like to do assimilation. I like to observe more than I give. So I came to this country, and that country was, at the beginning, it was a mess. You know what I mean? It was a mess. Like, I couldn't understand anything. I was in a state of denial and in a state of shock for about like 6 months. I was trying to figure out how these people managing to live under these kind of circumstances. But eventually I came up with the idea that we as human, we have that primary instinct.
Right.
We can if you put us in hell, we can live in hell. There's something about us, And even according to the Holy Quran, God says, in hell there is no death. You live in death.
So, if I understood your statement, are you saying like you're referring to Chad as hell or
Yeah.
how? Like I
Not,
didn't get it. Can you elaborate
not
that?
just Chad, the whole
Uh,
existence, the whole existence is, there is a play at the theater. Some very well-known dude, his name is Jean-Paul Sartre, he's a French.
all right.
He wrote a play, and that play called Behind the Closed Curtains, right?
Okay.
So there is a saying inside of that play. Uh, the hell is existence, or hell is the other people. So you have to think that God Almighty, He forsaked us, and He cursed us by leaving the eternal heaven and come to settle in this land. So you are not here on a vacation. This is not a happy place. You are here to repent to God. This is the purgatory, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as a Chadian and you were born and raised in Saudi Arabia, so I have a question to ask, right? So, what are the things or what are the problems that you think the Chadian youth need to address so that they can propel and go forward in their society?
Well, one of the major, problems that I discovered in this country is people's mentality. People's mentality is something that we should work on. There is a lot of, ignorance is wandering these streets. That's a very bad thing. And I believe, also people look into fundamental things as education and culture and readings as something that we can live without them. We can just get rid of these things and our life could be perfect. This is not the case. I think art and all the forms of art, the theater, the books, novels, these are primary things to live. These are sustenance. We need these things because through these things, through this literature, we can find ourselves and we can understand ourselves. And by understanding ourselves, we can understand the other. By understanding the other, we can expand to understand this whole community that we live in.
Yeah, but Omar, you're talking from your own perspective. You're talking from how you were raised in the society that you're in.
Yeah.
People are accustomed to this kind of thing, right? It's a part of them. It's biological for them.
Absolutely.
But for us, it's something new, right? How we can impute or instill this mentality of reading and bringing down the arts and all this stuff, or you can say all this form into existence, so that people can take it seriously and they may get their country to another place.
That's a good question. You can't accept anything, just for the sake of, that I said it or something else said it. You have to look deep down into yourself. What are the things that I'm lacking, what I don't have? We chase, materialistic things in this country. Everybody is after the money. Everybody is after the, these things that you can have them, but they won't make you happy. You know what I mean? But that main one thing that we should be, searching for is nobody's looking for. So how can we change people's mentality? This is your question, right?
Right.
And how can get them to be sophisticated and like look into education as something important, right?
Right.
Well, that's a very deep question. First of all, you have to convince that other person that he doesn't know anything. He's in ignorance.
But how?
Yes.
How, Omar? How?
This is the problem. If I couldn't make you believe that you are ignorant and you don't know anything, you are not going to go to school.
But you're telling me that if you want to address a problem, you cannot come to me directly like that. It has to be a language.
Absolutely.
So how?
Well, me personally, I couldn't find that, that level of communication with the Chadian people because, they tend to, refuse the outsider. Let's say I'm an outsider. I didn't, spend the vast majority of my, life in this planet in Chad, right? I'm an outsider, so they don't listen to you, and that's a very bad thing. If you have a person from another culture, from a different culture, embrace that person and ask him questions. Dive deep into his mentality, and maybe you will find the things that will amazes you. You know what I mean? So we have to embrace the newcomers, and let's see if we can, take anything that is good from them. You know what I mean? That's it.
All right, now let me jump into something that our audience have been waiting for. It's all about English and all this stuff. So, Omar, tell us your English journey, and how did you start, and how you embrace this language that much. You master it. You talk like they talk. You walk like they walk, right? So,
Exactly.
tell us and tell exactly the audience of the Chad English
Okay,
podcast. What's going
everybody
on.
pay attention to that, because I'm going to give you the key, the tips, and how can you master any language that you want to.
That's amazing.
Even if you want to
Listen.
speak, Chinese, you have to do that one thing. And if you can't do that one thing, your journey, the process of learning, is going to be difficult.
Go ahead, tell
And
us.
that one thing is embracing the culture itself. It's not about let's say. See, I didn't learn English in a very traditional, classic way. I didn't go to school. You know what I mean? I didn't go to school at all. I didn't sat down in a chair and there is a teacher where he can, tell me this grammar and about, vocabulary and all these things.
Right.
So what I did is I embraced the American culture. From the movies, from the plays, from the streets, deep down in Compton, California, Long Beach, New York City, Harlem, to the southern Texas, Dallas.
Hey, bro, what's going on?
Yeah,
Easy.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been, into my head when it comes to the American culture.
Right.
I wanted to know everything about America, everything, the society, the history, how they talk and how they walk. And I've come to level where I used to walk like a Denzel Washington, if you can. If you know what I mean.
Show us that work,
You know what I mean? Yeah. And another occasion, So to that level, I was deep into the American culture, And I watched over than maybe like 400 movies. All these IMDb rating movies I consumed them.
So, Omar, do you have any specific methods, like Omar's methods of memorizing sentences, vocabularies, all this stuff? How you embody what you see and what you listen?
Well, repeating, that's it.
Repetition.
Repeating, you have to repeat. I used to watch a movie, right?
Right.
And then the dialogues that in the movie, I used to act,
Right.
and I used to, use these dialogues, like in Training Day, Denzel Washington, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm putting cases on all you bitches, the King Kong scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah, give us one line of those,
Well, that's
things that you
that's
memorize. Good lines,
That's a very famous scene. The movie was Training Day, and Denzel Washington he made a outrageous job, and he won the Oscar, by the way.
Yeah.
So the scene was the King Kong scene. Everybody knows that scene by the name of King Kong scene.
Right.
So
Go ahead, listen to this,
we're
gentlemen.
going to do that scene as well.
Yeah, you're watching a master, so let's go.
Okay, Denzel was a corrupt, policeman. And he got people that supposed to be his midgets or minions, These people supposed to be following Denzel Washington in the movies, blindly, you know what I mean? So one day he got mad at these people, and he was telling, addressing all of them and saying, like, and the dialogue was, yes, I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Shoe program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown in your cell. Who the fuck you think you fucking with? I'm the police here. I run shit here. You just live here. King Kong ain't got shit on me. You know what I mean? So I learned English that way.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I used to watch the movie, enjoy the movie, and then I try to, live the movie itself.
Why?
Yes, even if I had, conflict on the streets, back there in Saudi Arabia, I used to be like that.
Gangster. Huh?
Yeah, you know what I mean? You ain't got shit on me, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I got that from Denzel Washington. So I used to live inside of these movies. And you watch movies, I recommend you watching movies because watching movies is something spectacular, It is going to give you a lot of vocabularies. How can you master the accent? And how can you, speak? Just
Watch movie, right?
music. So my method, you asked me about my method, right?
Yeah.
So I followed in my room, in my tiny room. I followed 3 methods. Double MB. I like to call them double MB. Movies, music, and books. This is how you learn any language. First, embrace the culture itself. Dress like them, think like them, walk like them, talk like them. Fully embrace the culture. After that, do a lot of listening, a lot of watching, and a lot of exercising. Imitate the people who use that language. So if let's say tomorrow I wanted to learn Japanese, you gonna see me with a samurai sword, you know what I mean? yeah. You be laughing, but for real, this is me. When I'm in, I'm 100% in, man. Come
Right,
on.
I see that.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people don't understand. They think that it's just a communication tool,
Yeah.
right? It's not about that. It's what comes with it.
Yeah.
So I used to have this as well, So I was listening to the personal people who what do we call them? The motivators, right? You can do it.
Yeah.
I want you to feel me in your soul
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So when nobody's around, I'm gonna try to be that speaker.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
So this is the problem that a lot of people don't understand. So they want to learn the language. When you tell them to do 1, 2, 3 methods, they don't do it, and they expect abracadabra or someone from the sky, rain that magical, I don't know, reset on them so that they can speak like American. It's a work, It's a dedication. It's a discipline. So for all the people who are watching, guys, I hope that those 3 what
Double MB, man.
double MB,
Movies, music, and book. And I want to add something. I have something in addition, which is you have to love the process. You have to love the journey, not the destination.
Right.
A lot of people they be thinking like, oh yeah, I want to speak like Mr. Saleh. I want to speak like this and like that. But from point 0 to 100,
Yeah.
You don't wanna. You just wanna speak like Saleh, but you don't wanna put the same effort, that Saleh, put. You don't wanna. You just wanna, kick back and be lazy, and all of a sudden you wanna speak like Saleh. This ain't gonna happen, buddy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is one tip. That last tip is we have happiness source in our brain, right? The dopamine.
Right.
If you can be happy throughout the journey of learning, then you can, learn faster.
Right.
And you can, enjoy the journey.
Right.
That's it, man.
As we are in Washington Note, let me give a line.
Yeah.
I think that Ababa sent me this movie, and I'm really grateful about that. What was the movie, Ababa? You're gonna cut this part. Equalize, yeah.
The Equalizer, Denzel Washington, man.
Yeah, Denzel Washington. Ababa sent me this video and this movie, and I'm really grateful about that. The Equalizer, when he went to that, gangster shit, and they violated that girl and everything, and he was like something along the lines of, if you ask for rain, so you have to deal with the mud.
That's it.
Right?
That's
so
it.
that really conclude and resume everything that we are saying. So if you ask for English, you have to accept anything, embrace anything that comes with English. Singing, dancing, thinking like them, talking like them, even accepting their discipline. Because Americans are very disciplined people that you have to understand. This is the first thing.
Facts.
They are really consistent.
Facts.
They love routine.
Facts.
What made America is the routine, is the discipline that they have, and people don't understand. They try things for 1 week and
and it's not working on me. Why
it's not working?
We have another motherfucker just like you that been doing that same thing for about like 20 years.
Right.
And you want to be as good as him
In 1 week.
in 1 week.
How is that? That sounds really crazy.
This is nonsense, man.
So
Come on.
yeah,
It is
you
what
got
it
to be
is.
like that samurai. You fall once, you get up twice.
The consistency, man.
Right, the consistency.
Yeah.
And people know all this, but they still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So guys, be serious. If you want to learn English, if you want to be greatest speaker, if you want to master your own self and not be a slave. Because all this stuff that we are saying now, if you don't do it, nobody gonna blame you but you. You know, you are 35, 40 dude, and you don't have education. You are not financially free, what we call the FF, right?
Yeah.
And you are a random common guy like the others, eating in the people's house, drinking in people's house. Maybe you may end in some bad shit, maybe stealing and everything. So educate yourself, read, write, and that's it, man. So Omar, I think about being holding the camera for so long. Do you have one last thing that we wrap up the whole thing about it, and hopefully that the next episode is gonna be a lot longer than that.
Yeah. If there is one thing I want to say, that
Yeah.
it isn't about happiness. A lot of people, they start something and they pursue something. They have a great goal. They have something to aim for, And after 1 month, they be like, okay, I'm done with it. Why? Because he is not happy.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't about happiness. It isn't about, consistency. You are not here on a vacation. This is always, I say this thing always. You didn't came from the heaven to have, this is not your annual vacation. You are not here to be happy. You are here to build something, to create something,
Wait a minute, say that again. I think some people need to hear that, say that again.
Yeah,
Approach the mic.
Adam and Eve, when they were, in Garden of Eden, they came to this land. It isn't a beautiful place. This is not a beautiful place, and you are not here to be happy. This is not your vacation. It is not the Maldives or Paris. You are here to put on work, to weaponize yourself, to do something with yourself, and to do something and to give something eventually to the community and help other people.
Right.
If it's not making you happy, fuck your happiness, man. It isn't about happiness.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and excuse me, forgive me if I'm being so aggressive, but yeah, this is what it is. What it is, man.
Yeah, this is what it is, and ladies and gentlemen, and I think that this is why I like Oumar so much. He knows what he say, and he says what he feel. He feel what he says. And one thing is, as Oumar said, like this life is about suffering. Not a vacation anymore.
Yeah.
If you are not suffering, then there is no enjoyment, right? This is the Chinese perspective, called yin yang, right?
Yeah.
For the people who do read and everything. So nothing is happening out there. So you got to work for it, and that's the whole thing. Suffer so much, embrace the suffering, because after the suffering, the waiting is double or 3 times bigger than what you think it is. So guys, I hope that you like this podcast, and hopefully that you're gonna tell us what are the things that need to be adjusted, what are the things that we need to, overcome as a problems and everything. Let me give my last move in here. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Check.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna be like that way. Take your king. That's a master move.
That's
You know what I'm
crazy,
saying?
man.
If you don't know, you don't know. You know. I've been playing this 10 years, brother. So I'm sorry, man. So anyway, guys. First podcast, right? Isa's here. Muhammad is here. Been watching, and thank you, Baba. And yeah, just keep working hard. Seeing from where we start and from where we are now. Now I can dream. I can really dream that we can be the first, channel, not only in Chad but in Africa as well. So, because something showed us that everything is possible. So yeah.
The sky, the limit, huh?
The sky's the limit, right?
The sky is the limit, and also I want to tell something to the audience. The audience, man, you have to get your English in a very proper way, because in the next episode we are going to talk about deep things. You know what I mean? We're going to dive deep in. If you can't keep up with us, man, this is going to be on you, man. Yeah, don't blame us at the end of the day. This is what I'm saying.
So get yourself a real how can I say that, coffee next time, and we may dive in if you are not good
Coffee.
swimmer.
I like that British accent. Coffee.
Coffee. So would you like to be here next time with your brother?
In it.
And thank you very much. And we are here on our chair ending this broadcasting thing. So guys, may God excellently and abundantly bless you like He ever has. See you soon.
Till the next day.
Till the next day.